Getting your first job. Yeah, it's not very fun. I've worked multiple jobs throughout my whole life, and I can assure you, there's nothing like working your first job.
Hey, I was wondering, is this apple crunchy or sweet?
Shit, I don't know.
Well, you just lost a customer. I'll be having a word with your manager.
I'm the manager.
This employee of yours can't answer my simple question.
What's the question?
Yes. I was asking if this apple is crunchy or sweet.
Shit. I don't know.
All of us are gonna have to get a job at some point. Unless you're Robert over there with his parents who are absolutely loaded with money. So that's why I wanted to talk about every single stage of getting your first job. First off is finding the job you want. As a new worker with no experience, you're not gonna have many choices for a job. Your best bet is working in a grocery store or fast food chain. Just anything that has constant demand in employees. Once you found the job that you want, you're gonna have to prepare your resume. And this could get very tricky to make, but you have to make sure you make yourself look good. You really have to glaze yourself. When I was looking for my first job, I was sending out resumes like there was no tomorrow, and no one was accepting me. And the funny thing is, they will always say the same thing. They will always go like,
Hello, I see here you have no work experience, and we're looking for some employees who have some work experience, so we can't accept you. Sorry.
huh? How am I supposed to get any work experience if no one is willing to give me the chance to get any? So I had to resort to asking my friend to help me get a spot in the job he was working at, and it was a retail job. Now comes the interview. This is the part where you gotta lock in. You gotta be wary of the questions the employer may ask. They may ask you why you wanna work here or why they should choose you. And yet again, you're gonna need to absolutely glaze and do tricks on yourself to make yourself look good. Now, you've secured the job, and I'm gonna tell you now, working is boring. No matter how dedicated and passionate you could get with your job, at some point, it's gonna get boring. That's why you're gonna need to spice things up by working with your friends. There is nothing like working with your friends. They just bring a whole different vibe to work and make going to work actually enjoyable. And if you don't have friends, which is kinda sad, not gonna lie, you can always make friends with your coworkers. Just talking with them makes time go so fast. And you're gonna need time to go fast because the schedules that these employees be giving are the most ridiculous things ever. They could be giving you a late night shift from 8 till midnight on a Wednesday, knowing very well you have school the next morning. And don't even get me started on those night shifts. The difference between night shifts and morning shifts is night and day. Working on a morning shift just hits different. There's no stress, there's barely any customers, which means more time to talk with your friends. The only downside is that you have to wake up early. But working on a night shift is so buns. When I was working on those night shifts, the only thing I'd be thinking about is leaving because most of my friends were gone. So I was left to close my whole department alone. And my manager was so stingy about being spot perfect. I had to place every product straight, even the ones in the back that no one could see. I also had to clean the floors, take out the trash, and deal with the lousy customers. Some of these customers' questions can be so dumb sometimes. Like, they could be asking for where the sugar is, and it'd be right behind them. And then they'd ask you to give it to them. So yeah, working for the first time can be challenging, especially if you don't have any friends to rely on. But it's not as challenging as going back to school. So go watch this video next. Subscribe.